Alrighty. Day 19. Day 19. It's been a day. Thought it would end earlier. I was going to make this video earlier, but it has not been ending. It really, depending on what time of day I make this video, depends on how this video goes. I was going to make it earlier, and I would have said different things. Just depending on how much just keeps happening. Last night we had dinner with friends and some spiritual parents, and it was so good. They just prayed over us. Lorraine, I love you. She prayed over me. And I felt like a shift. And this morning, there was definitely just the girls are struggling, feeling like the heaviness. And we just prayed together as a family. We read Matthew 7, where it talks about the lilies of the field. My buttons are doing weird things. The lilies and the birds, and that we don't need to be anxious. You can come sit next to me if you want. John Paul's here. I'm in bed. And just prayed and just was like, wow, we just really can trust the Lord, and He's going to take care of us. Just jumping into my video. And then I just felt even a shift last night of just wow, we can choose to have this be an adventure and not this thing of dread and sorrow, and just let peace come in and let joy come in. And I feel like I felt a shift today in my heart related to that. I think after we prayed this morning, the girls kind of shifted a little bit. We had friends come over, two different groups of two different families come over and get stuff, and so it was fun. We got to give stuff away, and my bangs are bothering me. They're getting long again. I didn't blow them dry, so they look funny.
Did he go watch the birds?
They did. They went out. Dad told them to go look at the birds, and
that's Peter's idea.
Yeah, from Peter Lewis's message from Sunday. So, yeah, I think it was good. Got a lot done. I feel like we got a lot done. People went through a bunch of the kids' clothes. I went through their closets. I pulled out pretty much everything that either they're not good, they have a little bit of clothes they're gonna wear for the next 2 weeks, and they have their stuff in their bags. Lila and Joby. Leo doesn't have enough clothes to do that. So he just has his clothes. I'll probably pack away maybe some of his stuff in his bag, but he just doesn't have that much stuff. So I'll probably just pack everything of his into a suitcase when it's time. I went through a lot, and then I just went and dropped off the rest of the stuff to Kid. So got $20 credit. So I can use that to buy some stuff before we leave. Yeah, I felt like I got some stuff done. I went through some stuff in the kitchen. Boxed up actually some stuff for Julia that I don't need between now and then. I went through a couple bit miscellaneous boxes. So threw a bunch of random art things away. Saved some stuff we can give away before we leave. Right before. So yeah, I felt like we got a lot done today. I felt like a shift today. It was good to see friends. There's some moving pieces that came up last night while we were at the restaurant with Julia and Leo, and them getting the van and some stuff. So we spent the last hour and many different other times today praying and talking and strategizing. Julia is the only driver because Leo just got here from Brazil. He didn't have a license in Brazil. You can't get your license until you're 18, and there was some stuff there. He didn't get it. He just turned 21, so he could have had a driver's license in Brazil, but he just never did, and he didn't really need it at the time. And now that he's here, he is not a licensed driver, so only Julia can drive. So was having some big feelings about driving the van with a trailer and driving by herself for 2 days. So what it seems like might happen And I say might because I just don't want to make any plans anymore. Because the plans keep changing. But I think what's going to happen is that Julie already bought a flight here to Dallas for Thursday, like the last weekend that we're here, March 6th.
Yeah.
And then John Paul and her will drive just the van. They're going to load the van full as they can get, minus the trailer. They're not going to take the trailer anymore. So they'll just have a lot of boxes and decor and plants, but not any real, like, not very much furniture. They're going to take like one credenza and
some chairs,
and then boxes and stuff. And then they'll drive to Nashville, I think is the plan. And then we're figuring out, John Paul flies back from Nashville, Leo flies to Nashville, and then they keep driving and they can deliver the dogs. Unless something happens supernaturally in the next week about the dogs having a place to stay here, they're going to go to Tennessee. I need to call my friend Whitney tomorrow. And then they would be able to drive the dogs to Greenville, and drop the dogs off with them. So we've got 2 flights pulled up on my computer and a hotel room trying to figure out those logistics. So, something that stuck out to me today from my reading was in Luke, and it was the story of Jesus telling, like, this when he called Peter, like Luke's version of when he called Peter, and he gets into their boat to preach, and then very classic scene, like from The Chosen, but he gets into the boat and then he takes them out and he says, put your net down, and they're like, oh, we already did, like, we worked all night and nothing happened, but they did, but they were like, but we'll do it. And they caught so much fish that they couldn't even bring it in, and everybody was amazed, and then it says, and then they dropped everything and they followed him. So I just felt conviction on that, of like being willing to be obedient even when it's like, God, we've tried this before. Just to trust him again even when there's been disappointment. To trust him and to leave everything to follow him. He's worth following. And then right after, he calls Matthew, and same thing, leaves everything to follow him. So yeah, he's trustworthy. Yeah, you ready to go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to go to bed. Okay.
Yes.
All right. See you tomorrow.